For my birthday, my parents sent me a gift box. My husband looked at it and said, "Don't open it." I asked, "Why? Can't you see it?" I looked closer and froze. I didn't open it. I did something else instead. 30 minutes later, police were at the door. I'm not a big birthday person. I don't throw parties or post dramatic selfies with 35 and thriving. Honestly, I forget it's my birthday until my husband buys me a chocolate bar and makes a dumb joke about being married to a mature woman. That's enough celebration for me. So when my phone rang the day before my birthday and my mom was on the line, sounding like someone had injected syrup directly into her carotid artery, I knew something was off. "Oh, sweetheart, we sent you a little surprise. It should arrive right on time." Right on time. Like my parents had ever been punctual for anything that didn't involve my sister. I played along. "Oh, okay, thanks." She giggled. My mom doesn't giggle. "It's nothing big," she said. "Just a token of our love." That's when I should have known. Not because of what she said, but because she said love and didn't follow it with a reminder that I'm too sensitive. But you want to believe, you know? Even after 35 years of crumbs, even when you've trained yourself not to expect anything, a stupid part of me thought, maybe it's real. Maybe they're trying. They weren't, it's my birthday. My husband, Ethan, makes me pancakes and lets me drink coffee in bed while he handles a work call in the other room. It's peaceful, comfortable, then the doorbell rings. A medium-sized cardboard box sits on the mat. No ribbon, no gift tag, no glittery happy birthday balloon, just a plain brown box, printed label, taped like it was packed by a robot. Ethan picks it up, carries it into the kitchen, sets it down, and stares at it like it might sprout legs. I say, "That's from my parents." He doesn't respond. Mom called yesterday, said they were sending a gift. Still nothing. Then, "Don't open it." I laugh. "Why? You think it's cursed?" Ethan doesn't laugh. He nods at the label. I look closer. No handwriting anywhere, not on the label, not inside the seams, just a printed shipping tag with my name and address. The return address is a P.O. box, not their street, not even their city. I start to feel cold. Ethan steps closer and taps the edge of the box with one finger. "There," he says. "Do you see it?" I lean in. My heart trips, then stumbles. Everything inside me goes still. Not fear exactly, not yet, just dread with a familiar face. I don't say a word. Neither does Ethan. He steps back quietly. My phone rings again. It's my mother. Ethan looks at the screen. I look at him. I swipe to answer and hit speaker. "Sweetie, did it arrive?" I pause. Ethan doesn't move. My thumb hovers over the end call button, but I don't press it. "Yeah," I say. "It came? Did you open it?" I glance at the box. "Yeah," I lie. I opened it. "It's beautiful. Thank you." "Oh, sweetheart, we just wanted to remind you how much we love you. You're our girl. Don't ever forget that." My stomach drops. My mom has never said that. Not when I graduated, not when I got married, not when I cried on her couch after a miscarriage 2 years ago. Ethan looks at me. I shake my head slightly. "Well," she says, all sing-songy, "we just thought you deserved something nice. You're so strong. You've always been." Then she hangs up. I don't say anything for a while. Neither does Ethan. The box sits between us like it's watching. "I hate how nice she was," I say finally. "I know," Ethan says. "She only calls me sweetie when she's about to lie." I know. And they never send gifts, not even at Christmas. "Remember that time they gave my sister a Peloton and me a scented candle from the gas station?" Ethan laughs. "I think the candle was used. I think it was expired." We stand there a while longer. I want to throw the box out the window and set it on fire, which is contradictory, but so is my family. Eventually, I sit down. Ethan makes tea. The box stays on the counter. We don't open it. We don't even touch it again. It just sits there, taking up space, saying nothing, saying everything. 30 minutes later, there's a knock at the door. It's not a neighbor, not Amazon, it's a uniform. "Are you Harper?" I nod. "We've received a report about a package delivered to this address. Do you mind if we come in and ask a few questions?" And that's where I'll stop for now, because the box is still there, and so is everything that came with it. To understand how we got here, you need to understand my life, or at least my sister, Chloe. Chloe is younger by 3 years, but lighter by 1,000 emotional pounds. If I'm duty, she's delight. If I'm the one who remembers everyone's birthdays, Chloe's the one who just can't deal with that kind of pressure right now. She was the golden child, not in a sparkly, overachieving way, but in a let's not make her upset way. She cried easily. That was her power. I didn't. That was my mistake. I was 8 when I first took the blame for something I didn't do. We had this hideous vase in the hallway, dark green ceramic, probably worth $12, but treated like the crown jewel of the family estate. One day it shattered, loud crash, big mess. Chloe was standing over it, bottom lip trembling like a cartoon. I walked into the hallway and knew what was about to happen, like a reflex. When Mom showed up and started yelling, Chloe pointed at me. Emma did it. Just like that. No warm-up, no eye contact, just betrayal, clean and cold. I hadn't touched the stupid thing. I hadn't even walked past it. But I said nothing because I was older, because she was crying, because I knew how this movie ended. Mom looked at me like I was a disappointing puzzle she couldn't put back in the box. Well, you're the big sister. You should have been watching her. I got sent to my room. Chloe got a popsicle. That was that. Another time I was 12. Chloe borrowed my favorite sweater, wore it to school, got paint on it during some creative moment in art class, and then blamed me for not telling her it was special. Mom nodded like that made sense. Why didn't you hide it better, Emma? You know she's still learning boundaries. That sweater was a gift from my grandmother. Chloe never apologized. She said I overreacted, then cried, then got ice cream. I learned again. Truth doesn't get you comfort. Tears do. By the time we were adults, we weren't so much sisters as two people who grew up in the same house, trying to keep the peace whenever our parents were in earshot. Chloe didn't go to college. She did a yoga certification, sold essential oils for 3 months, made a spiritual art Instagram that was just reposted Etsy screenshots and photos of her holding coffee mugs on beaches. Somehow, none of it ever failed. It just evolved. That's what my parents said. She's finding her way. She's got such a creative soul. Not everyone fits the mold, Emma. Which is hilarious because I never wanted Chloe to fit the mold. I just wanted her to pay back the $600 she borrowed for her failed bath bomb line. But I didn't say that. I watched from a safe emotional distance as she failed upward with my parents cheering in the background. About a year ago, Mom called to take me to lunch. Just me? I asked. She said it like a treat, like I should be grateful. We met at this farm-to-table place she pretended to love, but secretly called overpriced. Chloe was already there, sipping a kale smoothie, looking like a discount lifestyle blogger. They were friendly, too friendly. We ordered small talk. Then Chloe hit me with it. So, I was wondering, would it be okay if I used your name and address for something? Just for a business account, for this little art thing I'm working on. It's not shady or anything. It's just easier because I'm kind of between leases and you're so stable. That word, stable. It always meant the same thing. Boring, predictable, easy to pin things on. Mom jumped in. We just thought it made sense. You're good with paperwork, and it's just temporary, really. I didn't get angry. I didn't hesitate long. I just said, no. Calm, quiet, absolute. Chloe blinked, smiled too quickly. Hey, well, that's okay. Lunch ended early. After that, the freeze-out started. Not dramatic, just gradually colder, drier. The Christmas invite got lost. Dad sent a passive-aggressive email about not supporting family projects. Chloe unfollowed me on Instagram. I didn't notice until a friend pointed it out. I told myself I didn't care, but I did. I thought they'd come around, respect the boundary, that saying no wouldn't make me the villain. Instead, they moved on without me, which was fine. Quiet is better than chaos. I've built a peaceful life. A quiet house, a kind husband, no one screaming, no one crying on command, no vases smashed in the hallway. But when that box landed on my doorstep on my birthday, I knew. This wasn't random. They weren't being kind. They were being careful. Ethan tapped the edge of the box. "There, do you see it?" I leaned in. My heart tripped, then stumbled. It wasn't just the label, it was everything. The font, the plastic wrap, the barcode alignment, details you only notice when you've seen them before. And I had. A year ago, Ethan and I stopped by Chloe's apartment to return some dishes. She was knee-deep in packing peanuts, calling it inventory. Her hallway looked like a warehouse, boxes everywhere. They felt the same way. Same logo, same gloss, same smell, like varnish and melting glue. She'd laughed when I picked one up and told me to put it down. "The supplier is strict," she said. "Not careful, not expensive, strict." And now that same supplier had sent a box to me, directly, with my name on it. Not repackaged, not recycled. A new label, new seal, new box from them to me. Ethan didn't say anything else. He didn't have to. This wasn't a gift sent in an old box. This was a shipment, deliberate, the kind Chloe never let anyone else touch. And it landed on my kitchen counter. I didn't speak, because there wasn't a single thing I could say that didn't taste like betrayal. After I saw the packaging, I knew. Then came the call. My mother, syrupy and soft, asking if I'd received our little gift. I told her yes, told her I opened it, told her it was beautiful. I hadn't. Ethan stood next to me in the kitchen, arms crossed. I picked up my phone, tapped record, and set it on the counter. Not out of instinct or paranoia, but because I'd seen the box, because I knew what this was. They weren't sending a gift. They were sending a problem with my name printed on it. The knock came less than half an hour later. I opened the door to a uniformed officer, polite and expressionless in that practiced way. "Are you Harper?" I nodded. "We received a report regarding a suspicious package delivered to this address. Would you mind if we came in and had a look?" Ethan stepped into view behind me. I opened the door wider. "Sure," I said. The box was still on the counter, unopened, same taped edges, same weight I hadn't been able to shake since it arrived. I gestured toward it. "That's the one," I said. The officer walked over, looked it over like it might move. His partner stood just behind, eyes scanning the kitchen like we might have a warehouse tucked under the table. "It was addressed to you?" he asked. "Yep, birthday present from my parents." "You've opened it?" "No." He nodded once. "Would you mind if we opened it?" "Go ahead." They were methodical. Gloves, box cutter, everything by protocol. The flap peeled back with a dry sound. Inside, bubble wrap, decorative pieces, the kind of soulless things people overpay for to look cultured. A few little figurines, a certificate of authenticity, and a shipping slip with my name, of course. One officer scanned a QR code on the bottom of a piece. He glanced at his partner. They exchanged a look I couldn't quite read. "Do you know what these are?" the first one asked. "I mean, they look like art, kind of," I said. "Do you know where they came from?" I shook my head. "I told you, my parents sent it to me as a gift." "Do you have proof of that?" I picked up my phone and played the recording. My mother's voice came through, bright and hollow. "Did you get our little gift? We just wanted to show you how much we love you. You're our girl." I stopped it there. It was enough. The officer nodded. "We're going to take this with us. You're not being charged at this time, but this shipment matches materials in an active investigation." I gave a tight smile. "No problem." They boxed it back up like it was a biohazard, thanked me, and walked out with Ethan trailing behind. I sat down at the kitchen table. My coffee was still warm, which felt offensive, like the universe was suggesting everything was normal. 3 hours later, my phone rang again. I didn't check the number. I didn't need to. I answered. My mother's voice was no longer soft. "How could you?" I didn't respond. "You told the police it was Ellie's." "I told them who sent the package," I said. "I said you did. You know what this means for her." "Yes, I do." "You could have kept your mouth shut. You could have said it was a mistake. You called me. You checked to make sure it arrived, then tipped them off. We didn't have a choice. You always have a choice. If they found it at your place, it would have ended there. Quiet. Contained. No one else gets hurt. So, you sent stolen goods to my house in my name and hoped I'd be dumb enough to open them. Silence. Then my father's voice, low, measured. We thought they'd seize the items and move on. We didn't think they'd trace it back this far. But you thought they'd trace it to me. Emma, you're stronger. You've always been stronger. He used my name. You used my house. Chloe's not built for this. And I am. You don't have kids. You'd bounce back. That was the reason. Always the reason. You've always been the cold one, my mother said. And now look what you've done. I didn't answer. I ended the call. Ethan came back into the room, a cup of tea in each hand. He sat one down in front of me and didn't ask anything. I looked at the counter. The space where the box had been felt like a scar. They really thought I'd open it, I said. Ethan sat down across from me. They really did, he said. And that was all there was to say. A week after the police took the box, the detective called again. I was halfway through a bowl of cereal. Ethan had just left for work. The sun was doing that warm window thing when things feel like they might be okay again. Then my phone lit up. Unknown number, of course. Ms. Harper, do you have a few minutes? For what? Why not burn it down before breakfast? We need to confirm something. Your name appears on multiple documents related to the business your sister operated. Have you ever registered a business under your name? No. Have you ever listed yourself as a co-owner or manager for any company tied to art sales, resale platforms, or international supply chains? I laughed. I once tried to sell a bookshelf on Facebook Marketplace. That's as far as my entrepreneurship goes. He didn't laugh, not even a pity chuckle. There's a digital signature filed with your name and a business email address attached to a now suspended account. Let me guess, emma73@catchyartmail.com. It ends in .designs. Of course it does. Would you mind looking at the digital signature? He sent it over. It took 3 seconds to confirm what I knew. It wasn't mine. My name, sure, but not my handwriting, like someone tried to imitate it after glancing at a birthday card once. Is that your signature? No. Do you recognize this email? No. Could your sister or parents have had access to any of your old documents? I paused. Yes, years ago. Tax stuff, ID copies. I used to trust them. That was the last time I said that sentence out loud, past tense and all. He walked me through what they'd found, or tried to. My brain turned some of it into static. A business license filed under my name. My old address listed as the official return center. A digital trail pointing back to Chloe's devices. Supplier contracts, payment links, a full-blown fake email account pretending to be me. You've technically been listed as a silent partner for over a year, he said. I wanted to say something sharp, something clever, but all I managed was, of course I have. He asked if I'd provide a written statement confirming I never authorized any of it. I said yes, sent it over that afternoon, and included a copy of my actual signature for comparison, just in case anyone needed help spotting the fraud. He thanked me for my cooperation and said they'd follow up if they had more questions. That was it. He didn't say what would happen next, didn't say Chloe's name again, didn't say charges, didn't promise justice. He just thanked me and hung up, which felt more honest than anything I'd heard in months. After that, there was nothing for a while. No calls, no questions, just quiet, like the world was buffering. I figured either everything was happening behind the scenes or nothing was, and both were equally terrifying. Then it all moved at once. Chloe's charges, wire fraud, identity theft, business fraud, import-export violations, and, in my head, being the world's neediest sibling. She pled out 2 years probation, a fine the size of a new car, no business license until halfway to menopause. My parents' charges: conspiracy, aiding and abetting, pretending they were too naive to know what a scam looked like. They pled guilty. Suspended sentence, community service, fines, their names in the public record. No more hiding behind we're just her parents. I didn't go to the hearing. I didn't need to see Chloe cry in a beige cardigan, while my mother squeezed her hand like she was the one on trial for being a misunderstood genius. But I read the transcript. My name was mentioned 12 times. No apologies, not once. Then, because life apparently had jokes left to tell, they asked to meet. No Chloe this time, just the two of them. A peace talk over burnt coffee. They picked a cafe near the courthouse. I showed up 10 minutes late and ordered the most overpriced pastry on the menu just to make a point. They were already seated. My mother looked like she was trying to figure out what expression would make me feel guilty fastest. I didn't sit right away. "We didn't know she used your name," she said. "You didn't ask either." She said it was just for shipping. Yeah, because that's how fraud works. You ship it somewhere new and hope no one asks questions. My dad cleared his throat, his favorite move when logic runs out. "We thought it was just temporary. She said you wouldn't mind. She also said I'd open the package, remember? Turns out she says a lot of things. We didn't think it would go this far." "You mean you didn't think you'd get caught?" They went quiet. Then my mom went for the jugular. "You've always been stronger, Emma. You don't have kids. You don't have anyone relying on you. We thought you'd be able to recover." And there it was. The justification, polished, practiced, like they'd said it to each other 100 times. "You offered me up," I said, "because no one else depends on me. Because you decided my life was easier to lose." "That's not what we meant." "No, that's exactly what you meant. I wasn't even angry anymore, just done." I stood up. My coffee was still half full. "I didn't take it with me. I hope you both enjoy your community service," I said. "Maybe you'll finally learn what real work looks like." That night, I blocked them, deleted every contact, cleared every backup, removed their names from anything that still had an emergency number listed. Gone, not out of spite, just necessity. They don't get access to me anymore, not even the version they made up. The next morning, Ethan brought me coffee. We sat in the kitchen, quiet sunlight pouring in like it belonged to us. "You okay?" he asked. I sipped. "I'm done." He didn't ask with what. He didn't need to. "What do you think? Did I go too far or not far enough?"